I'm Michelle. This is a Rise and Reignite fitness class. Today we're doing a legendary workout, which basically means we're going to do a whole bunch of stories and we're going to be set to different, exercises set to different stories. So we're going to start by just jogging in place. Breathe in and out. So how this works, we're going to have 4 different stories told, and each of the stories is going to last around 9-ish minutes. And then after each of those, within the program of each of those stories, we're going to do a 1-minute cardio blast. So it's about 8 minutes with a cardio blast. And the whole point of this is to sort of dig into the muscles during the storytelling and get distracted by some really interesting, weird, bizarre myths and legends and folk tales, and then be able to really blast through that 1 minute before we have a chance to catch our breath. All right, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and take a nice wide stance. Slightly turn your toes in. Reach down, touch one toe, and reach down and touch the other. Breathe in and out as you move side to side, twisting your back, and digging into those hamstrings. So we're going to go all over the world today. A few of the stories today are going to be callbacks, the stories we've done in the past. Don't worry, if there was a cliffhanger in the last one, I'll fill you in before we move on to the next part of the story. You got 3, 2, 1. Good. Come all the way up. Go ahead and dip one foot out in front of you. Lean down. Scoop up and reach all the way up. Switch. To the other side and keep switching side to side. So the whole point of this exercise is to feel really good, really strong, but also to be totally engaged in something while you're doing your workout. Just like you'd be listening to an audiobook or a podcast or even music, I'm here to fill your head with all kinds of nonsense. All right, we're going to do 2 more, and you're on your last one. Awesome. Come face me forward. Hands come together. Open up one back behind you, and switch to the other side. Switch and switch. Good. Breathe in and out as you move side to side. Really good. Nice and steady. No need to overextend yourself in this warm-up session. Got 2 more, one on each side. Last one. Great. We're going to take a nice big lunge forward, and we're going to hold here and then take it back up. Good. Take that lunge. Other side. And take it back up. Switch back. And bring it up. Good. And switch it. And take it up. Good. You can add in a little bit of a twist if you'd like to get that upper body engaged as well. And bring it up. So we also have different sessions throughout this whole session or this whole series. We're going to start with some arm work where we're really going to focus on arms. Then we're going to have some more full body exercises. And then we're going to end with abs. Last one here. Take it open and bring it all the way up. We're going to start with arms. So I want you to go ahead and start with 1 heavier weight or 2 lighter weights held together. Because we're going back in time, guys. We're going to take either 1 weight or both of your lighter weights. I only have light weights today. Lift them up over your head. I'm going to scooch this thing so you can see me a little better. Okay. So you're going to hold them up over your head. You're going to dip down, pull up. Dip down, pull up. Now, if you're familiar with the legendary workout, you might already know what we might be doing. That's right, we are fishing. We're starting in Ireland with Finn McCool. So Finn McCool, we've covered in a couple different of our routines. He's this epic guy in this Irish mythology. And he is known far and wide for his unusual capability as a leader, and also for after someone he knew fished for the salmon of knowledge that he ate it and got all of the wisdom in the world that he just has to tap into if only he sucks on his thumb. Now this guy is so legendary that he becomes more than just this single myth or legend. He actually finds his way wandering around a lot of other Irish legends. So not necessarily related to him or about him exactly, this thumb sucker, but more about him as an entity of a super awesome, interesting guy. So we're coming to hear a story about him in a completely different context. In this one, he's a giant. You're going to do one more here. Take it all the way down. You're going to bring both those arms together. You're going to slightly bend those knees. Bring those arms out in front of you. You're gonna, your back is slightly bent. You're gonna start reaching those arms up to either side, bring them in. Up to either side, bring them in. Just like a giant. In my mind, it makes sense, so just go with it. So this guy is a giant. If you're using lighter hand weights, I encourage you to use heavier hand weights here to help really target those muscles. Go ahead and squeeze your shoulder blades at back. So Finn McCool is a giant, and he lives in Ireland, and he is an enemy giant that lives in Scotland. And so he decides, after much, much fighting with his mortal enemy, that he is gonna go face this giant. We're gonna do two more. Take it up. Last one, take it up. Bring it down. Take your legs a little bit wider. We're gonna bring our arms to center. You're gonna sit down, and then you're gonna pull his arms all the way up. Sit down, pull all the way up. So he starts taking rocks and throwing them into the water between Ireland and Scotland. And so he's tossing them over, and they make this big, massive pathway between Ireland and Scotland. The kind of pathway, though, that only giants can go through, right? You have these big, wide steps that you need to take. We're going to do three more just like this. Last two, final, and your final one here, take it up. Awesome. We're going to take those big, giant steps. We're going to bring those arms to our shoulders, and as we lunge forward, lifting our arms up, bringing it back. Switch to the other side. So he starts taking these wide steps across the water to Scotland, only to realize as he approaches that his enemy giant was actually much, much bigger than he realized and anticipated. So he totally chickens out, turns around, runs the other direction until he gets home and sees his wife. And he's like, oh man, I really messed this up. I made a whole pathway, and now this enemy giant's gonna come and get us over here. And she says, not to fear, my love, I'm all over it. You might remember in the other story about Finn McCool, he marries a deer that transforms into a human, then transforms back into a deer. This is not the same woman. Don't know who this woman is. Last one, take it up, bring it back, awesome. So she decides she's gonna use her hospitality to get this guy. Bring those arms right here. You're gonna lift one arm forward, other arm forward. One arm forward, other arm forward. Slightly bend those knees as you reach one arm out at a time. So the big bad giant comes, and as he's on his way, she says to Finn, Finn, I will dress you up as a giant baby and put you in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner except apparently Finn McCool's wife. So she does that, and then after she does that, she invites. This guy comes to the house, he pounds on the door and says, I need to kill Finn McCool. And she's like, I'm sorry, he's not in right now. Would you like some food? And he's like, sure, why not? So he sits down at the table, and first thing she does is serve him a loaf of bread. And she slices into the bread just like we're doing, using a saw to slice it because they're all giants. And he takes a big bite out of the bread, and as he bites out of it, he yelps in frustration and fear and sadness because he bit into a, actually part of a saw. We're gonna do two more. Last one. Bring those arms into two 90-degree angles here. Lift all the way up and all the way down. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. That's the way Finn takes his bread, so I figured you'd like that too. And so he's already intimidated. He's like, here's a guy who eats saws in his bread. That's wild. And then he notices the baby in the corner. And he goes and looks, and the baby is massive. It is a monstrously huge baby. And the guy just can't help but wonder, oh my gosh, if this is how big this guy's baby is, how big must he be? We're going to take it all the way up to the top. You're going to punch up, 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 up. And so he takes that as his cue to say, like, oh, can't do this. So he runs around and runs back to the other side, the other Scotland. And while he runs, not the other Scotland, the Scotland. And while he runs back, he destroys all the rocks that Finn McCool had spread out over the ocean so that he can't come over to get him now that he sees that the kind of giant baby that this man can have. All right, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it all the way down. Lift it all the way up. Awesome. We've only got about 25 seconds left here in our arm workout before we move into our 1-minute cardio blast. This is just the first of numerous kind of weird baby stories we're going to get today. So that's the first one. This is the funnest of the stories. Some of them get kind of dark, guys. But we're just going to go through it with exercise, and it's going to make everything better. And take it down, and you're going to do one more right here. Bring it all the way down. Drop these weights over to the side, and we're going to enter into our 1-minute cardio blast. You're going to reach up over the causeway, come down, reach up and jump, hopping from rock to fight your giant enemies. We're going to switch halfway through to the other leg. Breathe in and out. It's only 1 minute. You can do it. Push through. Use your arms to help propel you. Breathe in and out. You got it. Keep it up. That one leg is really taking the brunt of it here. You got 5, 4, 3, 2. Switch legs. Take it up. Take it down. Good. Lift all the way up. Jump over that causeway. Or maybe you're the bad giant who's now quivering back to his home. 10 seconds left, guys. Breathe in and out. You're almost there. 5 more seconds. You got this. Last one. And take it all the way down. Shake out those legs. Feeling good, guys. Next, we're going to move to Norse mythology. Breathe in and out for a moment. You've got a nice long break here. Grab water, anything you need. Stretch out your quads or your arms if you'd like. I'm going to do a quick back stretch here. I'm going to take my arms, fold them in front of me, arching my back over. Breathe in and out here. You can do whatever arm exercise works best for you today. I'm going to interlock those hands behind me and reach back. All right. So we're going to go do some Norse mythology. We're going to go back a couple weeks. Hands first on your hips. You're going to take a deep step out to the side and really lean back. Your glute back behind. Sit down deeply. Come to center and sit the other way. Center, sit. Center, sit. Center, sit. So this whole time, it's really your glute that's moving back. Okay. So now that we've got the exercise part covered, let's go to the story. We're going to go to Loki. So last week we covered that story about Loki dressing Thor up as a bride, and it was sort of like a ha-ha kind of moment. The week before that, we covered the death of Balder. So if you don't remember, I'll help jog your memory. First, take an arm up, smack it this way. Take the other arm up, smack it this way. Yes, we are playing a pleasant game of throw sharp objects at the family members. That's what they used to do to Balder, because Balder had an enchantment put on him that made him totally invulnerable to everything except mistletoe. So Loki, having found that out, grabs some mistletoe, makes an object, has his brother throw it at this guy, unknowing to the brother. And so this Balder ends up dying and goes to the underworld, and they can get him back. But Loki, dressed as someone else, says, no, I don't want to have him back. So the guy cannot come back from the underworld. And this is particularly bad because it's seen as the beginning of Ragnarok. So that's what we're covering here, kind of the darker, deeper side. After this event, when Loki kills Balder and then doesn't let him come back up from the underworld, he ends up darting out of town because the gods figure out it was this Loki guy. All right, so last one here. Take it down. Loki transforms himself into a salmon. Not the sand of knowledge, Just a normal salmon. Hands out in front of you. Lift your whole body up like a fish flopping. Bring it down. Up, down, up. Take it down. Good. Keep it going right here. So he starts to transform himself into a fish, a salmon. They try to hook him with a normal hook, but it doesn't work. So they invent the fish net. They throw the fish net on top of him. And he's able to burn it so it doesn't work. Go ahead and bring your whole upper body up. Start swimming forward, using your feet back behind you to propel yourself forward. So he burns it and it doesn't work. They try again and they end up getting him. And they finally, once they get him, they end up trapping and imprisoning him in a totally gross way, right? So they like take out the guts of his kid and use those to tie him up. Like sick, but also heavy metal stuff, right? So keep going right here for 3, 2, 1. Bring your arms right here to your shoulder blades. And you're gonna push yourself up, lean up, and come down. First, letting those arms bring you down, and then the rest of your body can touch. Pull up, arms come down, body comes down. Pull up, arms come down, body comes down. First pull up. This is what a snake looks like. Because they decide simply imprisoning him is not enough. They decide to put a poisonous snake over Loki, who is imprisoned. And the poisonous snake just perpetually drips saliva down onto Loki. Breathe in and out. Take it down. Good. All the way up. And take it down. Good. All right, we're going to do one more. Take it down. Awesome. I'm going to tuck those toes under, reach up into a downward dog, and start walking back in toward those feet. Roll up nice and slow. Come to center. Bring those legs nice and wide apart. So while he has the snake dripping on him, go ahead and lean low. Reach those arms out. You can hold like hand weights here if you'd like. Pull back in. His wife sits right beside him, holding a bucket to catch the majority of the venom that's seeping out of the snake's jaw. But every time she has to go empty this dish of venom, once again, the venom ends up hitting Loki, burning and like monstrous things to his face, right? So Loki, as you can imagine, is pissed. And this is what starts Ragnarok, is his huge amount of anger with his family for having done this to him. Granted, he did just kill one of his brothers, framed another brother for it, and so on. So we still have some time left here. I want to talk more about who Loki is as a god. We're going to do 3 more. 3, take it up. 2, bring it back in. Last one, take it up. Awesome. So hands come to your hips this time. You're going to come all the way down in a nice wide position and start pulsing here. So let's talk about Loki, because sometimes, like last week, he was in this wedding myth where it's like just this wild, crazy, funny, helping out Thor thing. There's nothing bad really about him. And then you get moments like this where he purposefully kills members of his family and then has to suffer for it. So this guy is a complicated character, not really because he's the deep, like sometimes brooding, sometimes okay guy, but mostly because his purpose in stories really changes. You got 5, 4, 3, stay low right here, hold. Lift one heel up, lift the other heel up. One heel up, other heel up. So stay low, get a little bit lower. You know why? Because it's low key, that's right. Bring it down, keep that chest nice and open. So sometimes he uses this character who is funny. Sometimes he uses this character that's mean, but a lot of times he's just pure mischievous. Like something he's doing is a little bit sneaky in some way. Like he's had so many punishments. If you were here in other stories, you know that there was this one time that he gave birth to the horse that his dad takes around now. Weird. Also a weird baby story, right? That goes with the theme of the last one and the next one coming up. Get a little lower, you're almost there. We're gonna do this for about 10 more seconds. Get low, a little lower. You should really feel this in your glutes. 3, 2, hold here, 5 seconds, and then we move into our 1-minute cardio blast. All right, take it all the way up. Our 1-minute cardio blast is a snake move. Come down onto your hands and knees, reach one arm out in front of you, grab your elbow in toward your opposite, or sort of the same knee as you're twisting side to side like a snake. Getting those obliques in, side to side. Breathe in and out. You're only here 1 minute. This is hard on your shoulders. This is a good workout for your abs, for your obliques, for your back. Push through it. You're doing great. Whoops. Don't fall. Side to side. Breathe in and out. Keep it going. You got 20 seconds left. Almost there. Just a 1-minute cardio blast. Then you get a nice long break. Keep it going. Keep breathing. 10 seconds left. You got it. Keep it up. Breathe in and out. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Yes. Awesome job. Okay. I'm going to stretch out my glutes for a moment and then come standing up. I'm going to do that by taking one leg over my opposite leg, pulling forward in this stretch. Whew. You also have the option to do a figure 4 stretch here, or you have the option to not even stretch here, just grab water, whatever you need to recover from that cardio before we dig in to the next one. Whew. We're going into China next. I'm sorry if I pronounce this incorrectly, but we're going to go to the story of Nuja. And this kid, he's a treat. All right, pull forward. Get that one last moment in. Hands come underneath you. Feet come back behind you into a downward dog, press up, and walk back to standing. I'm going to start with my hands on my hips, and we're going to move into a curtsy lunge. For the background, bring it to center, curtsy the other side, bring it to center. So you want your leg to reach out about 6 inches to the side, back behind your leg and out to the side as you push through to each side. Breathe in and out. Nice. Okay, so there is a man, and he has a wife, and they have 2 sons, and they are eagerly awaiting their 3rd child. And they've been eagerly awaiting their 3rd child for quite some time, as the woman is now 3 years and 6 months pregnant. Whew, it's a long time. That's really scary. So one night, she goes to sleep, and while she's asleep, she gets this vision of an old man who comes and uses like a swisher on her chest and stomach and says, accept your baby and name him Nuja. And she says nothing because she's asleep. The next day, though, she gives birth. Finally, after 3 years and 6 months, only the baby is not a baby. It is a giant ball of flesh. Yes, that's right, folks. Horror movie? I think so. So then the husband, thinking this must be demonic, takes a sword and starts to hack away at the giant ball of flesh. And in doing so, actually, out from it springs a full-grown young child, as things often do spring from unusual objects. Last 2, final one. Bring it to center, feet are shoulder width apart. We're gonna come lean down, pull up. Lean down, pull up. So this kid is a magnificent kid with magnificent powers, but mostly has the power of having objects given to him. So he's like kind of Batman-y is what I would say. So first what happens is he gets a mentor who shows up and says, I brought this thing for him. It's a cosmic wheel is what it's called. So he takes the wheel, takes it with both hands, right? So you got this wheel thing. We're gonna go ahead and step right into it. because it's a hula hoop. Go ahead and take a wide stance. Contract those abs. We're only here for a minute, so if you're shy, don't worry about it. You'll be done in a second. Switch to the other side. So use this cosmic wheel, which is basically a hula hoop, but heavier than a hula hoop. And no mortal would normally be able to carry it, except this kid. So he takes the wheel. We're going to bring it up over our head, and he goes and plays in the water. Hold it up high. You're going to lean forward, twirl around, all the way back, lean forward and around and back. Good. So he starts playing with it in the water, and when he does so, it causes such a commotion that the water like springs up, and it wakens the dragon king in the like East Sea, and he gets so angry that he sends a watchman to go see what happened. So you're gonna go 3 and 2, last one, great hula hoop time. Okay, so he goes and he finds this kid on the shore, and he is like, oh great, it's just a kid. I can kill that thing easy. Go to the other side. And so he goes, he approaches this watchman from the Dragon King of the East Sea. And when he approaches, the kid pulls out his hula hoop and kills the beast. Hula hoop again. And so, well, we're here longer than I thought we would be. Sorry guys, don't be shy. Pull in those abs as you move around. And so then the Dragon King sends his beloved son. And the kid, once again, upon seeing this intrusion, takes his hula hoop and kills the beast. Okay, let's go into squats. Take your magic cosmic wheel, lift it up overhead, pull it down. Lift it up overhead, pull it down. Good. Okay, so then the Dragon King is like, I'm going to tell on you. I'm going to tell the Jade Emperor what you have done. He's sad and a tattletale. So he goes to go to the gates of the Jade Emperor. But when he gets there, this kid has beaten him there. And he grabs his wheel and he starts beating up the Dragon King. So the Dragon King gives up before he has a chance to tell the Jade Emperor what's up. And now the Dragon King pulls together his entire group of friends and says, hey, let's go after this kid and his family. So they go after the kid and his family. We're going back to the family. So we're going to curtsy lunge to one side, bring it to center, squat there, curtsy lunge to the other side, center squat. Good. Whew. And when he approaches, the kid's like, guys, that was all me. It was my bad. I'm sorry. And he kills himself. And he gives his bones to his mother. Not super happy about that, especially after being so close to him for 3.5 years. Side to side, really good. 3, side. 2, back. We're not done yet. Last one, bring it back and center. Good. Take your cosmic wheel. Lift it up. So the father is so insanely angry. His own birth father is so angry that this kid brought him so much grief that he goes, torches down the temple the kid is now buried in. And as a result, the kid actually ends up becoming immortal and is given other cool tools like a spear, which now he could use for even more nonsense. And that's basically his story. And everywhere I read about him, he seems kind of like a fun, nice character to have around. But then when I read the actual words, I'm like, this punk, he's up to no good. I'm not sure I like this kid. We're going to use that hula hoop one more time. Come to center, hula hoop it out for the very end, your last 10 seconds. If you're ever wondering how to make your hips move more, come slightly onto your heels, onto your toes, and move your hips around a little bit lower. Last second, and we're going to go ahead and fight with our wheel. So you're going to take the wheel, slash one side, side to side. We're fighting off anyone who even moderately perturbs us in any way or threatens to tell important people what we did. During your 1 minute cardio blast, using that wheel, that hula hoop. This story, if anything, just made me want to get a hula hoop. Breathe, push through. Try to dig fast. Try to move low. If you can, keep your back foot up off the ground behind you. Breathe and push side to side. You're doing great. You got about 15 seconds left, then you're done. We go onto the ground for our ab work. Breathe. You got it. You're so close. Keep it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Yay. All right. In preparation for abs, I'm going to move this down just a little bit. Oh, that's a bed. Sorry. So you can see me a little better. I'm also going to grab my set of light hand weights in preparation for some of these moves. Oh, this is kind of a fun story too. We're going to go to India. We're going to come back to a main theme in this story. There is a lot of walking in this story. I'm going to adjust the lighting real quick so you can see me okay. That should be decent. If not, a little horrific. That kind of, old movie lighting. All right. We're going to come flat on our back, lift our legs up, and we're going to start walking. Walking around. We're going to do a lot of this. There's a lot of trails to go on, a lot of people to meet, and a lot of things to exchange. All right, so this family has a really, really, really poor mom. And the mom is like a single mother, and she has a son. And the son and her are poor, but they're happy. They're like very content and living their lives together because they have each other. It's that kind of story, you know what I'm talking about? So she asks him, she says, hey, I'm on the way to the city. And when I get to the city, I'm going to sell my, what I've been able to spare from our season of agriculture. And would you like anything while I'm out there? And he's like, all I really want in life is a drum. And she says, we don't have enough money. And she cries. And then she goes and sells her stuff and she can't afford a drum. So on her way back, while she's walking on her way back, she finds this old man, and the old man is sitting there peacefully, and he notices that she's crying, and he's like, what's up? She's like, I can't buy a drum. And he's like, here, have a stick. And she's like, this is the worst thing anyone has ever given me. That's not what she says. She's grateful. But he's like, it has some magic in it, and maybe it'll be helpful, and he'll want it. And so she's like, okay. So she takes the stick back, and she gives it to her son. 3, 2, 1. Pull it all the way up. We're going to walk more. But first, we're going to grab this with us. And we're going to start walking on the ground right here. We're holding our stick, walking around, and we finally come to an old woman sitting by the side of the road. Go ahead and lift all the way up. Pull your hand behind your neck. Start fluttering your feet. This is a fire, and she's making at her fire. She's making bread. And she can't get it to work because the fire actually won't light. Holding yourself up high, if you want, you can add in little pulses at the top, breathing out as you pull those abs up, up. And so he's like, hey, I don't have much. I can't help, but I do have this stick, and maybe this stick can help you light a fire. And so it does, and now she has this blossoming fire and is able to cook her bread. And as a result, gives him a piece of this finished up bread. You got 3, 2, 1. Take it all the way down. You're going to start walking over here this time. You're now holding bread. And walking. So you're holding yourself back at about a 45-degree angle while you're walking forward, holding your bread. And as you go further on your path, you see this woman. And this woman has a baby, because that's the theme of the day. And the baby is crying and will not have it. Not happy. And so we're going to do 3, 2, 1. We're going to hold the baby. Take this in front of you and reach it side to side to side, doing these twists at the top of your range, holding your baby. The baby's crying, and the boy says, hey, I don't have much, but I have this piece of bread. Would you like to give this piece of bread to your baby? Maybe the baby will be quiet. And lo and behold, the baby is quiet once it starts eating bread. Magic bread. And so she says, thank you so much. Please take this giant pot. And so he's like, great. So he takes the pot and continues on his journey. Go ahead and lean all the way back and start walking. If you want to take this walking to the next level, go ahead and pull your arms behind your neck and reach your torso up. Otherwise, stay right here at the bottom, walking until he finds a man and his wife who are sad. And he's like, why are you sad? He's like, the man says, I am a clothes washer, but my wife just broke my pot. And so now I can't wash any clothes. And so the boy says, I have a giant pot. Would you like to have this? And the guy says, sure. And so he gives him the giant pot, and in return, this man gives him a coat. Go ahead and pull up. We're going to put a coat on. We're going to do this by leaning way back in a 45-degree angle, holding our arms up, reaching one arm through one side and one arm through the other side, putting on a coat one arm at a time. The issue here is that static hold, guys. So stick with it if you can, putting on those clothes. So he travels farther down the road, and as he's walking down the road, he sees this man shivering, quaking, totally cold, wearing nothing but his underwear, and he says, hey, dude, what happened? And he's like, I was robbed, and they threw me into the water, but they left their horse with me. So that's this horse that's right next to me, but they left me with nothing else, no clothes, no money, nothing. And he's like, hey, here, take this coat. And so he takes the coat, immediately warms up, and then he says, would you like this horse? And the guy says, yeah, I'd love the horse. And he takes the horse and goes further. Come all the way back down, we're gonna walk more. So he's walking and he's got this horse, and he ends up coming across a wedding ceremony. And the wedding ceremony is great, except it's not happening. Why isn't it happening? You ask? That's what the boy asked. And they said, we can't do anything because this marriage can't happen unless the groom rides in on a horse. And the man who owns the horse is running late. If you know what I'm talking about, there's always something that goes wrong during a wedding. And so in this case, they were missing the horse. And so the kid says, hey, I have a horse. Would you like this horse? And they say, yes, we would love the horse. Go ahead and come all the way up. Take both of your light hand weights. You can also do this without hand weights. You're going to lean back and start pulling these hand weights onto your knees one at a time. Breathe in and out and hold that static hold. All right, so he says, the groom says, what can we do for you now that you've given us this horse and made our marriage possible? And the boy says, all I want in life is a drum. And the guy says, well, lucky for you, it's a wedding, so we have lots of music and we have a drum right here. In my opinion, this is a perfect example of a kid getting ripped off. He gives the horse, and in return, he gets a drum and goes home. It all depends on your value system, I guess. I just think he could have sold the horse and gotten 10 drums rather than getting one drum. So anyway, they all live happily ever after, at least in the short term. He has a drum now. You got 3, 2, 1. That was us playing the drum, by the way. And now we're going to come all the way up, and we're going to go on our journey. I'm going to pull this up a little bit higher. Okay, you're going to run in place. We're on that path. We're always on the path here. So you're going to run in place until you find somebody to help. You're going to jump to the side, pull down, and help them out, come back up. You're going to jump to the side, pull down, come back up. Jump to the side, pull down, help them out, come back up. Jump to the side, good. I'll tell you when to jump, jump. So you just yell, help. Help them out, that's right. You know what I'm talking about. Help out random people and get random stuff. Help. Take it down and come back up. Awesome. Help. It also sounds like a warning cry. Help. All right, you've got about 15 seconds left. Help. And come back up. Walking down that path. Help. And bring it back up. 5 seconds left. Help. Last time. Help. And take it up. You are done. Yay. Congratulations on making your way through yet another Rise and Reignite Legendary workout. Catch your breath for a moment. We're gonna enter into our stretch. Go ahead and take those legs nice and wide to either side. Breathe in. Exhale, let those arms come down to either side. Take another deep breath in. And exhale. One more deep breath. Take it in. And exhale, hands come right to your hips. We're gonna start sitting down, letting those hands inch forward onto our thighs. Sit a little deeper here. We're gonna twist first to the right-hand side, looking up over our shoulder. Breathe in and out. Drop a little lower, easing the stretch into your inner thighs. One more moment here. Come to center, then switch for the other side. Pulling there. Let that breath steady. Use these couple minutes here to really appreciate what you've done, what your body is capable of, the number of squats or snake moves you can do. Come to center, bring your elbows down to either knee and press out lightly, sitting down a little bit deeper here. Take another deep breath in and out. And drop your hands onto the floor, letting those legs fully extend in front of you. Go ahead and start walking those hands a little bit forward. Loop those shoulders back. Take those hands up to your hips and pull yourself up nice and tall. We're going to take one arm over the other here, reaching up toward the ceiling just for a moment, twisting those arms, pulling them forward in front of us and up higher, getting that stretch in your shoulders and back. Breathe in and out. Let those arms come down. We're going to switch to the other side and lift those arms. Oh yeah, I love this one. Reach those arms up. Breathe. And release those arms like that. We're going to go ahead and lean over to one side, come immediately into a hip flexor stretch. I'm going to drop my knee onto the ground. You can do this with your knees above the ground in a runner's lunge or down here, either way. Take a deep breath here, square off those hips. And then pull back, letting those toes in front of you come up off the ground, getting that stretch all along the back of your outstanding leg. Your back hip is right over your back knee. Lean forward. Use your breath to get closer to the leg. Go ahead and pull forward, bring both hands to the inside of your leg. Reach that leg around and back and switch it out for the opposite one. Ooh, yeah. Lean forward here. Get that stretch in those hip flexors. Maybe a little bit in those glutes. Square off those hips. Try to drop them down a little bit farther. Try to intentionally dig deeper into this stretch. Pull back, let those toes come up off the ground, and get that back stretch all along your leg from your heel up to your glute. Your back hip is right above your back knee. Your hips are both squared, and your breath draws you a little bit closer to this leg each breath. Go ahead and pull forward, bring both hands to the inside of your leg. You reach back to your hands and knees. Go ahead and twist around so that you're in a seated position. Bring both hands down to either side. We're going to do one deep breath in and out here. First, go ahead and find your center. Get nice and tall. Go maybe close your eyes. Feel relaxed. Take a deep breath in. Let those hands reach up toward the ceiling. And then breathe out, letting those arms down to your sides. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. I love getting to see you. If you ever have any requests or ideas for a legend that you know or want to talk to me about, Hit me up. I love them. I love getting to see you. Let your friends know. Subscribe to the channel and enjoy your workouts. I will see you soon. Bye.